Welcome in to the Corona Cero post-show of what was a really fun day one of action here. The waves were pumping, we had good looking swell, the winds held off and they were played in our favour all throughout the day. As you can tell, we ran a big day. We started just as the sun was coming up and we thought we'd go all the way through, make the most of some really, really fun conditions. So we've got a lot to break down today of what has just been so fun, as per usual. My name is Jessie Starling. I'm joined in the booth by Tanner Kadauskas and Mitch Salazar. Guys, first things first, we really just need to reap the rewards of a great day. Cheers.
Cheers.
This was so fun.
Salud, salud.
It's been so long since, like, well, first of all, this is our first full day together, so that's a cheers in itself, Tanner.
What a blast we had, too, huh?
And Mitch, I've missed you. It's been a while since I've seen you.
I know. It's been a great day. I'm really sweaty today. That's a good indication of how good the waves were, though. We were here at sunrise and finished at sunset, and luckily for us, not only did we score today, I think the high tide afternoon was one of the best days I've seen a competition here. So well done by the competitors, and of course our staff did an amazing job too.
And Tanner, what are your takeouts for today? Obviously, we broke down a lot. We had a lot of different opinions on things, but it feels like no matter what, we had a lot of high moments today.
A lot of high moments, and on top of that, how cool is it to start day one of the waiting period with cranking waves and run all day like that? There was drama, there was high scores, there was airs, there was falls, there was crazy airdrops in a bowl that looked very hard to hit. I don't know, it was just such a treat to be in the booth and see everybody pushing the level.
I love it. I love pro surfing. I have no issues with anything. I just love coming down to a comp. We have waves and it's fun and we get to see some of the world's best do their thing, including that last heat. I mean, that was a pretty close heat between Yago Dora and Luke Thompson. At one point, I was thinking Luke is in this here, Mitch, but Yago is so hard to beat, especially at a right-hand point break.
Yeah, and he's finaled here before too, and he's done it for good reason, but you know, we talked about the Latin American Jeffreys Bay, as we call Punta Roca. You know, coming from Durban, Luke's been able to surf at the CT venue over there at Jeffreys before, and, you know, given his preparation throughout the event, I was expecting a bit more in the afternoon. He did surf this morning, Jess, but talking about the current and defending world champion Yago Dora, he can find a way to win, whether it's cars, whether it's airs. He was able to do that right here in our final heat of the day.
And it was pretty interesting, Tanner, to see him go for an air really early on in this heat and then it not work out for him, so he just switched and went to rail mode.
Yeah, and like Mitch, really good point. He'll do whatever it takes to get it done. I think that is a testament to his skill and ability. Sometimes you watch the surf be cranking all day and you think, okay, for sure it's going to be on fire for my heat. And when you have to adjust in those moments, mid-heat or whenever it hits, Yago had to do that and he had to refocus. I believe there was one ride in the middle of this heat where you could see him downshift purposefully to get a good ride on the board and create that rhythm. And then the heat started to click for him, and that ride specifically was so great.
Combo was amazing at the end.
Yeah, he has that world title just ooze about him. I feel like he's really learnt those tiny little things, and sometimes you're not going to win with two big excellent scores, but taking a win, especially at this point of the year, is so essential in these rounds.
Well, and he has the only perfect 10 of the year so far too, in a clutch moment, remember, and he's had multiple of those so far this season. But I think Tanner knows, as better than anybody here, being a former CTer, in those close heats, those are the ones that make or break the difference, whether you're a top 10 surfer, top 5, or world championship contender like he is, our current defending world champ, Jess.
Well, Yago, he is actually currently with the man Strider on the glass right now. I'm intrigued to see what his take on that heat was.
Thank you, Jess. Beautiful heat, Yago. I have to be honest, at the end there, I was, you know, wondering what was going to happen. Were you thinking about it? Did it feel like a scrape by, or did it feel like a victory?
Yeah, for sure. That was a stressful one, of course. I know how good Luke is, you know, especially on waves like this. And I knew that my last wave was really important, and I made a mistake there by falling. And I didn't have priority, so I kind of needed to go to have a response to the next wave he was going to catch. And yeah, I ended up falling and just having to pray he made a mistake as well, and he ended up falling too. It's actually really hard to stay on top of your board right now. There's a lot of water with the high tide, and yeah, just crapping through and feels good.
And during the heat, you tried to throw a huge backside air off of a huge section out there. Is that just instinct?
Yeah, just instinct. I felt like that wave gave me a nice ramp, and I just tried it. I knew that wasn't like a great wave at the moment of the heat, and I just went for the attempt and didn't quite get it right. It was a lot of, like I said, a lot of water. It was even hard to do airs out there, but yeah, it just feels really relieving to get through that one. That was not an easy one.
Well, we've seen you do amazing aerial antics out here. Those heats, with John and everything you were doing out here. Do you feel like all of those past heats are going to give you the confidence to go through this and take it out?
Yeah, for sure. I know what I'm capable of doing on this wave. That win that year just slipped by, and I felt like I was going to win that event. But yeah, I feel really comfortable here. I've been coming to El Salvador since I was young, and yeah, this wave suits my surfing. And today was hard. It was just one of those really tricky days. There's a lot of waves, but really bumpy, and high tide makes it more volume, more water moving. But yeah, I know what I can do out here, so that gives me the confidence.
And let's talk about the blade. You love your surfboard. What are you riding out there?
Yeah, so this is a step driver. It's a 6.0. It's like my regular shortboard size, but it's a step driver, which is a little better for when the waves are more powerful. It's what I mostly ride on tour, actually, because we usually have good waves. But yeah, this board feels really nice, and one of the boards that I ride the most on tour.
Well, congratulations. We can't wait to see you again, and we love to see that star over the cup.
Right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Strider. You can see even in that post-heat interview just how much that meant to Yago to get a win in such a close heat between him and Luke Thompson. Obviously, Mitch, we've rolled through 6 heats of the opening round. We've got 2 more, so we've got 2 more on this page and then a whole nother 8. But as far as your bracket challenge went, how did it go in these first 6 heats?
Well, we all knew, the cores knew that Heat 1 was just going to be an anticipated final. Liam O'Brien, Jake Marshall, that was incredible. I was thinking that Ethan was going to sneak by Callum. I love the way Callum approached that heat, though. He went out there knowing that Ethan was probably the favorite. Callum thought himself that he was going to be able to achieve the win. Eli Hanneman's been on a roll, and then back into the round, Tanner looking just as good right now.
It's so bizarre. It was great, and it just keeps getting better. Look at these matchups. We talked about just in that last heat, Felipe versus Kaoli, insane. George Pitar, Zhao Chunka, they're matching up heavy. Crosby and Morgan Ciblic, that's an all-time heat. I don't know, it's hard to have favorites in this draw. Like Connor O'Leary and Baron Mamiya, that's power on power, and Griffin and Al, that's all flavor and energy coming at this point break here.
I had a really interesting conversation with Eli after he won his heat, and he said, if you're looking for an easy heat, then you're not in the right place. And I feel like that draw really speaks to that, just with how stacked every single one of those heats are. It's so hard to be able to pick a winner, but unfortunately there does have to be one at the end of the day. Someone who got a win over one of her heroes today was Anat Lelior, beating Steph Gilmore, someone who is arguably been her biggest inspiration from day dot. And Steph, she's won here before Tanner, so I was thinking, oh, she's going to keep that roll going, but the rookie and Nat getting her.
Yeah, so I was in the Red Bull Athlete Zone before this heat, and I could see Anat psyching herself up, as she should. This is kind of a pet event for Steph, but she stuck it. She's been all about big moves on big sections with her backside, and it's great. You know, she's coming to life throughout this event, and turns like these ending turns, which were so tricky to come away with. Look at that. She's just banging it, and she just really, I think, will take away that she beat the GOAT out here at El Salvador, which is a big win.
On a right-hand point break. That's hard to do no matter where you are across the world, just with how good Steph is. Mitch, when you look to the scores, I mean, Anat had a 9.8, Steph had 8.5, and that was their heat total. So this is actually a really close heat between the 2 ladies.
It was a makeable heat for Steph, and I just thought Anat surfed this wave very well, considering how difficult it was on the low tide for the goofy footer. She did have the best wave of the heat, the 5.5, but Steph opened up with the 4.83. She was in the lead at the beginning of it, and eventually just never was able to get her feet going after that. Had a couple of falls, and this is by far the biggest win of Lelior's career so far at the moment, Jess.
And for Steph, there is a part of my heart that's gutted, just because we know that we've got good waves to come. What Steph can do on right-hand point breaks. She obviously has already had a win on the Goldie this year, Tanner, but it feels like probably Brazil and maybe a couple events back-to-back, she's going to need to bank a couple keeper results just to stay in that world title conversation that we've started just dancing with so far.
I think as a surf fan, you're always bummed to see your favorites go out of the events, and she did execute so perfectly at Snapper. You felt the heat coming, and I hope she can find that kind of rhythm later in the year. I know she'll have takeaway from the heat, like you were saying, Mitch. It was tight, and it was a low-scoring heat, and there could have been things that could have been improved on. So yeah, it's a bummer that she's out, but again, like you're saying, like it's only going to come down to one at the end of the day.
I feel like we spoke about it on the men's side. the next couple of heats are really hard. There is no easy heats on the men's side. It's the exact same story on the women's. Round 2, Mitch, just looking so stacked with all the ladies.
Yeah, the first one is really difficult already. Current world #1, Gabriela Bryan, defending champion right here at this event. Against Yo-Yo, she goes for things. I love heat #6, Sakura against Caroline, 2-time champion Marks, going against Sakura Johnson, who won multiple events last season, Jess. But look at heat #8, 2 good friends, grew up in the same era, Caitlin Simmers, Bella Kenworthy. We got a great one, Tanner. We're looking forward to it.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be a great day. Hopefully tomorrow.
Very American heavy on the backside of the draw as well, so it feels like that'd be gearing up to at least one American doing pretty well in this event.
Wow, there you go. And two, Caitlin and Bella grew up together, so there is a little bit of a hometown rivalry effect in those heats, and it'll be fun to see how it plays out.
I feel like as well, when you look to some of those heats, even thinking about the Molly and Sally heat, they both attack this wave really similar, Mitch. So with moments like that, for all of these women's draws that are coming up, it really does come down to just relying on your strong points in moments like this.
It definitely does. We've seen Molly get a near perfect 10 over at Sunset for one maneuver. The only thing I will say differently, judges were really critical about single maneuver waves. They weren't going that high with them. And this is a long point break, I understand that, but there might be moments of brilliance tomorrow if it is larger in size on the outside where you got to reward that. And I feel like, especially in the first few heats of the morning, we should be able to find that out.
I'm excited to see what the conditions are going to be like tomorrow. There's a lot of talk in the air about what it's going to be like. Is it going to be big and windy or big and clean? Mitch, obviously you know this wave pretty well. You've been here multiple times, and we've got a lot of swell on the way here.
We do. We got a lot of weather too. Hopefully it's not as bad as they're predicting, but you see those purple blobs coming from the deep South Pacific Ocean, all the way from New Zealand. Long period south swells, that's what we want right here in this part of the Pacific. And luckily for us at Punta Roca, it seems like the next 4 days, we're definitely not gonna have, you know, an absence of waves, that's for sure, but the wind is really gonna be the key variable right here, Tanner.
We saw it come into play a little bit today, and you could tell if it comes up any heavier and the size of the waves is what it's meant to be, it'll be very, very challenging to lace together those major maneuvers.
Just when your day couldn't get any better. We've got swell on the way. We've had plenty of fun heats all throughout the day so far. We also have a pretty great QR code on your screen right now. If you scan it, get 2 weeks free premium Surfline. And I don't know about you two, but I use Surfline religiously. I check the cams I was sitting with Tanner today and I was like, D-Bar is cooking. I was watching waves back home. So I would definitely scan that QR code.
I've had Surfline Premium for about 8 years now, I want to say it. I see a couple of the forecasters out of the water on my local breaks. I see Kevin and Charlotte Perry quite often, so shout out to my boys over there from Costa Mesa.
I love it. Seems to be waves all around the world right now. Obviously, we had super fun waves here today. So many to choose from, but we have top 5 to go through. There's just too many moments. We've narrowed it down, though. We started the day really strong with this man, Ramsey Bukiam, finding that momentum that he's been chasing all year here, Tanner.
He clicked into gear. It really did feel like he was approaching it with a Moroccan style to it. Hitting the biggest sections available this morning was really lunky, actually. It didn't find its form in terms of conditions until later in the day, and he made it work for him.
Yeah, we had Leo in the heat for that one, in the booth for that heat, and it was so cool to see their energy. Bella Kenworthy getting her first heat win of the year alongside Brisa Hennessy here, Mitch.
Yeah, and this is the best I've seen her surf in a little while, so good on Bella. The board looked amazing too. That's the Mikey Shorty that we're talking about. Same thing for Brisa Hennessy. She needs a big result right here. She's the lone Central American in the draw on the women's side, and of course, when we talk about great waves right here in Central America, you can't forget about how good Punta Roca has been to her in the past. Dropped an 8.5 in the process too, Jess.
Yeah, highest wave score of the women's so far. Highest wave score of the day, I feel like, actually. Cal Robson, nerves of steel in this one, letting Ethan go a wave in the dying stages, but it's hard to beat Ethan Ewing on any right-hand point break, so this was a big one for Cal here.
You knew he was going to have to put it down, and he did. He's surfing so phenomenal, and it was a really great bout to watch play out. Of course, it ended in Callum's favor, and I'm sure he'll take that strength into these next couple of heats.
And Ethan, this was a big loss for this one, just considering how good he is at right-hand point breaks, Tanner.
Yeah, he would be looking back in hindsight and thinking, oh, wow, what could I have done differently? He's incredible on his forehand. I think as a surf fan, you really want to see him do his thing. And when he's caged, he still looks great. But Callum really put the wheels to him today.
This was the moment where he kept his nerves of steel here, Mitch.
Yeah, and we talk about the power of self-belief. This guy really went out there thinking that he was the best surfer out of the two that went out there. And once again, he works so hard for it. This is a kid that we really want to see succeed just based off of that. But he earned his stripes out there today, guys, because he went out and defeated one of the best surfers on the planet at potentially his best location in the world, too.
He was so humble about it when he came in as well, and obviously a big storyline today. Anat Lelior, a rookie on tour, takes down Steph Gilmore, which we spoke about. It's hard to do anywhere, but on a right-hand point break, especially here, Mitch.
Yeah, no, and we talk about, you know, needing those great moments. There were a couple brilliant moments on these waves right here, Tanner, these deep bottom
Right
turns.
there. And I feel like she's becoming known for that. You know, we have some really incredible goofy foot females on tour, and she's right there putting her name in the mix.
Yeah, and Nat just using power. I feel like as soon as it gets a little bit bigger, she really does start to open up and unleash even more. A lot of Israeli fans are on the beach as well. She said it feels like having family just support her wherever she goes around the world. But this was a big one, Tanner. You called this very early this morning. You said Eli Hanneman's gonna go crazy this event, and for the first time ever, he's made it out of round 2 in the championship tour.
Fully. And you know what? Him going against Brian Perez was such a great matchup because it allowed him to pull out his versatility without alley-oop, which that's what I've been seeing in the free surfs. He has an electric rail game and so much speed and flair in his conventional surfing, but he's able to get up and over the lip. Right, Mitch? This is insane.
Dude, that second heat that he surfed, the 883, he backed it up with a 733, more than 16 points, but you know, he shut me up during the heat. I was like, okay, you got the 7. I think you got to go to the air right now. Just shut it down on Miguel. He proved us wrong in a different way, just because he went to town, rail to rail the entire time, combos and major maneuvers, and he left truly no doubt that he deserves to be in round 3.
Just those waves as well. They were just so perfectly groomed. I felt like that was when the wind was at its most perfect. The swell had figured it out. It was on that fun mid-tide, and he just found these 2 perfect bombs. And when I spoke to him on the glass, Mitch, he was just ecstatic. And I feel like we had some moments today with Brisa and Eli where it really does go to show how much making these rounds means to these surfers.
Right, and he was also very honest on the fact that he has the best job in the world, too,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, it's not the end of the world if this doesn't work out for him, because in the end, he's enjoying this. He's having a ton of fun, and I think that attitude goes the longest of ways.
Tanner, just because you picked it so well this morning with Eli, is there anyone that really catches your eye in that next part of the round? Men or women? And you can't say Sawyer because you coach.
Totally, but Sawyer's going to look great. I don't know. It was such a treat. I would like to see how everybody's going to match up against each other. Noting that everybody's looking really on fire and the conditions are great. Now it's about the battles within the heats. And we saw a lot of those play out today. Like, how did you surf the rides you got? What did you cash in when it was important? And I think as a surf fan, it's like more about just loving every single heat and just noticing everybody pushing the level.
Well, guess what, guys? We have plenty more of it very soon. We have a 5:45 a.m. call for a 6 a.m. start. So we are going to finish our Corona Ceros, probably talk more about the day and be back here bright and early. You guys have some highlights to enjoy, but we will see you nice and early in the morning tomorrow.
See you
Cheers, guys.
Yes, great day.
Thank you.